Hey guys, Brian here. Welcome back to the shop. As you can probably see, the engine's back out. So, got it out to install the transmission behind it. So, got my clutch tool for installing the discs. So, I have to clutch back on this engine and get the transmission mated back up to it. And then I'll be ready to go back into the lift to see what I got to do on this back end where this yoke here goes. Since I don't have hardly any length, I think I'm gonna put a Waldron / Browning / Dodge / Emerson / Copflex, whoever owns them today, coupler on the back end of it, and that should allow for any misalignment and any movement, but be super shorter than what I can get out of 2 U-joints. And I feel like I need 2 U-joints. If I just did one, that kind of sort of work, but I suspect there might be vibration if there's any misalignment at all. So I'm gonna go the other route and hope I can get it close enough lined up for the 3 degrees that the coupler can take up a variance to be able to be taken up. So I'll get this clutch put on and bring you back. Well, got the transmission on, all fit up nice, just like it's supposed to. So, I have a complete drivetrain, assuming I can get this hooked up to the reverser box in the forklift. And I'll have more gear options, should I choose to use them. So, nothing wrong with that. I definitely won't be able to tear this thing up, I don't suspect. The forklift just spins tires as it was when it was in low gear, so I don't foresee this being a whole lot more stress on it because it's still just going to spin tires. But I got my jobs to do. Before I put this back in here, I want to notch that engine cross member some more for the balancer clearance, and I got to work on those bolt holes going through for the radiator, open them up to where I can pass 3/8 bolts all the way through them. The tap through deal is not going to work out, so I'll just drill them all the way through and run long bolts through to hold the radiator in. But for now, I need to fix this steering. So was able to find a new pin online to fix this steering box with. Comes with all new needles and stuff. Not that I really need that, but that's the way it comes. So I'll get this out and then try and figure out how to get all these needles stacked back in that hole without them falling out. Probably grease is going to be the friend of that. So I'll get to it. Okay, so the moly grease to hold the rollers was the trick. I managed to get the new pin in there. I reused this old steel lock and all the rollers. They were in good shape. I don't see any reason to replace them. The races in here are made into this piece, so they're already mated. So I just put them back where they came from. And it feels smooth and good. So I don't think it'll be any issues. I get this stabbed back in the steering box and I'll have steering again. Okay, so this is my setup to drill my motor mount holes. So I've just taken a white paint Sharpie and marked on the bottom where they belong. I set my drill bit up to be just enough for the socket to be able to clear on the nut, so I can go as far back in here as I can and still get the socket on it with the 1/2" nut. So I'm gonna come in here and drill these 2 holes. And it matches up with the motor mount. So well, here we are again. This time it's in with the transmission on, and I've managed to get it shimmed up to where the shafts are in alignment enough that I think I can get it coupled together. It's too short for a double U joint, so what I'm gonna do is use that Copflex Waldron style coupling, and that should be enough to get any misalignment out that I've got. Took a drill bit and went around the big diameter of the shaft versus the small diameter of the other shaft, and I got clearance all the way around, so I know that I'm centered up within 50 thousandths or less. I'll get an indicator and see if I can't get any closer, but realistically that's as good as it's going to need to get, because the engine's mounted on rubber, so that means it's going to be able to move around somewhat anyway. So it won't do any good to get it running exactly true, because as soon as the engine starts torquing around on the rubber, it's going to move again, so it'll be out of alignment, which is why I'm going to use that to take up for the small amount of alignment change that occurs. It's more than enough to be able to handle all the torque and power that this thing will ever put out. I probably should have bought a smaller one, but you know, that was the deal. So still need the clearance just a tiny bit more under that pulley in order to be able to get the belt on. So, but other than that, it is sitting up on the motor mount this time. It's got clearance under the sides. It may rattle a little bit because it's really close, but I don't really want to raise it up because it makes this alignment worse. And I'd like to keep it as good as possible, plus keep the engine as low as possible. That helps on the other end too. The plan is to bore out these hubs and take the existing yokes and chop them off, and I'll take the spline section of the yokes and weld them into these hubs, bolt the hubs on, put the flanges in, slide the engine in, pull the flanges together, bolt it up, and it should be coupled. So that's the plan, but that'll be next time.